lot of people will look at today and say that this is a good day. I can't honestly say that I feel the same. You would think that people would just want to be good all the time and just, live right, live righteous, live in a way that puts you closer to God. But when we talk about the aspect of people having demons, it's because the things that are which we would call demons ultimately is compared directly to bad. And today we are seeing one of the biggest demons become exposed. And the demon in which body that he was living in goes by the name of Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy. P. Diddy got arrested yesterday. I'm not too sure of the time, but he got arrested yesterday. And the things that he got arrested for was original sex trafficking, racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, kidnapping, arson. I mean, the list goes on. It's really kind of ridiculous of how much stuff this man has on his plate. But it is what it is. This is just the things that he engaged in. And I know a lot of people don't remember. I had to go back and do my research myself. Originally, these charges, these allegations against P. Diddy started in 2009. So to think that it basically took 15 years for us to get to this point is actually pretty goddamn absurd. But let's be real, especially when you look at P. Diddy and Cassie's situation, I think it's safe to say that a lot of fuel to the fire brings us to now where we are. And I don't know what type of money Diddy had to put into the industry for him to be able to pass through certain things for a while. But this seems like a situation where the cup runneth over. Too much dip on your chip. Now, a big reason why I wanted to do this video is because I went on social media, just kind of browsing to see how people feel about this. And out of what the general consensus would always be, there's always that one statement on one person that just kind of makes you think, kind of makes you question yourself as far as like, and what I'm doing is right or what I'm doing is wrong. And if you look around social media right now, it's a party right now. No Diddy. Everybody's, for the most part, is celebrating. And I'm not gonna put the person tweet on here because I don't even really know this person like that. But pretty much he was going amongst the lines of pretty much saying that he does not like the fact that at the end of the day, no matter what you feel of how wrong Diddy is for doing the things that he did, for it to be so celebrated amongst the black community right now just looks crazy on us. And I kind of understand it. Because it's like, you never want to see someone that, until these moments were happening, that you don't want to see this from someone that would have potentially been a big prolific name for black people. No matter if you genuinely listen to this music yourself or not, or no matter if you were a big fan of Diddy, his impact at the time in which he came into the game, the man did a lot. Well, a lot from the aspect of exactly who he came in with who he was able to usher into the game. He was part of a very, very prolific time in hip hop when it comes to black people in the community. But I have to say, in this situation, it is hard for me to gauge anyone's anger towards P. Diddy at this point because of the things that has been done. And a lot of people is coming across saying these things to P. Diddy as far as the aspect of being mad at the celebratory energy that's around P. Diddy. A big reason why they say mad is because of the allegations and the case that Cassie brought upon P. Diddy, suing them and whatnot. Like, they're looking at that as being a catalyst as far as like, well, we don't know if truly her side is her side. And whenever you look at the video of, for y'all that don't know, the footage of P. Diddy and Cassie in 2016, where P. Diddy put his hands on her. A lot of people look at that and they're like, well, you know, it's hard to fully gauge on her side if she's telling everything that's the truth. She could just be very emotional, or they'll say things like, well, if you come from a black household, you know, sometimes, you know, especially if you were a kid watching it, your parents fight, you know that this is just something that's part of our history as black people. Well, I'll tell you one thing, just because it is part of our history to a certain degree doesn't mean that it's right. It's not right for someone, if you just look at the biology, the human anatomy of what it genuinely means to be a male and a female, you know that the average male is multiple times stronger than the average female. So for you to understand that and then abuse your strengths that God has given you to harm any woman, I can't look at that and respect it by any stretch of the imagination. That's just not that's just not me. I could never respect a man putting, especially in this generation, 2024, if you are a man and you putting your hands on a woman, I mean, you just asking for it. Because there is all the choice in the world that you have to say, okay, I'm just gonna walk away. And let's be real, guns is so heavily available and acquired by so many people. I just don't even play around with people like that. I just couldn't, because I value my life too much to when I only want to harm somebody else's life, but to also put mine in jeopardy because of how high my emotions may be. It's not worth it. So to see what Diddy did and say those things as far as like, well, you know, we deal with it a lot in our black community anyway, we may do, but it ain't right. And it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. It should not be a thing to where we're putting our hands on these women just because of how our emotions may be, or a woman may be trying to harm us in a way, so we feel the need to have to strike a woman or anything of that nature. Don't get me wrong. I am a type person where it's like, grab them up, kind of restrict them from putting their hands on you, and then while you're doing that, move yourself closer to leaving outside of her presence. I'm with that. But actually physically hitting a woman, I just can't get down with that, especially now in 2024. It's like, bro, you're asking for it. But one thing I do want to say to the people that are mad and using that as a reason of why they're not fucking with people celebrating P. Diddy going to most likely gonna be prison forever. At the end of the day, what he's going to prison for, what he's going to jail for, has nothing to do with the Cassie situation. Yeah, Cassie may be affiliated through some of this when it comes down to, you know, what role that she could have possibly played in either being abused to do these certain things, forced into doing these certain things or not, at the end of the day, we're looking at sex trafficking, racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, kidnapping. Like I say, the list goes on. That's where the celebratory energy comes from. Because we're looking at it like, okay, we took another potential pedophile, pervert ass nigga off the street. Someone who has been actively going hard on abusing women, abusing prostitution, abusing the activity of illegally putting women into sexual labor. We finally got this off the street. So I will not be the guy to sit here and throw a parade for the fact that P. Diddy is most likely going to be locked up forever. But what I will say, man, good riddance. Good riddance. And I do not feel bad or will ever feel bad for anyone who engages in these type of things. Cassie's situation to the side. These things that P. Diddy has done, for them to arrest P. Diddy, they must have all the evidence in the world that says you were absolutely doing these things. And if that is the case, so be it. Everyone makes choices in life, and depending on the decisions that you make, look, one thing about consequences is either a good or bad consequence that comes with every decision that you make. Diddy made some bad decisions. So what you think is going to forcome off of the decisions that you make? It is what it is, man. I pray that God gives him grace. I pray that God judges fairly. And if he is an almighty God who believes that all of his children, i.e. us, have good in them, I pray that he is judged upon his good. He shall be judged upon his bad as well, but he should be able to bring out more of the good in him and hang on to that and rid of all the bad things that he's done while he was on this earth. I pray for that. I pray for that man's soul. That is if he still has one. But as far as this P. Diddy situation go, for the people that is celebrating, I mean, I can't tell them that they can't. I completely get it. This man was a monster. Given to what this man is being arrested for, he was a goddamn monster. So you have to do what you got to do at the end of the day. As sad as it sounds, it is what it is. It is what it is. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I know I ain't got too many subscribers on this page yet, so sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I do have a plan going forward for not only this channel. I have 2 more channels that I have coming out, which is a sports channel, which is going to be predominantly more on covering the Saints, but we could talk about numerous things on that channel, going with sports, especially football. And then I also have a gaming channel that I'm working on as well. Right now, I'm currently streaming on Twitch. I am going to probably rebrand that as well, and then eventually move some of those clips that I'm doing on Twitch and move it to YouTube. So just be on the lookout for that as well. Those are things to come. So when you see this, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Whenever the communities does come out, as far as me putting out the other channels, I'll make sure to put links out there as well, so y'all be able to follow that as well. For people that, likes that type of entertainment, likes to see those type of things, it'll be available for you really soon. So just be part of the support. Anything matters as far as any type of support that comes around these channels. I appreciate any bit of love that I could get. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. Diddy, I guess you did do it, didn't you? God damn, Diddy. way, newfound news real quick comes out. They raided P. Diddy home and found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Yeah. Yep, go ahead and lock him up. I don't trust him.